Good morning and
Good.
welcome to Invitation to a Conversation. My conversation today is about the celebration of Juneteenth. Juneteenth, also known as Emancipation Day, Freedom Day, and Jubilee Day. It's been celebrated in Galveston, Texas since 1865, with the oldest Juneteenth celebration being celebrated in 1872 in Emancipation Park in Houston, Texas. And now, my invitation to a conversation today is with community activist and advocate Jessica Jenkins. Welcome, Jessica, and thank you for accepting my invitation to a conversation.
Thank you. It's an honor and pleasure to be here. Thank you for allowing me on your platform.
Yes, this is my first day going live, so you are my first guest.
Okay, exciting, exciting. Thank you again.
Thank God. Are you a native of Brunswick, Georgia?
No, ma'am, I am a native of McIntosh County, but I am currently a resident in Brunswick and then also graduated Brunswick High.
Okay. And before we get into our conversation of Juneteenth, I would like to the people to know what else that you are actively do in the community. You are the Candy Lady, Mrs. Claus. You do a Halloween event. You do a back to school, and you belong to an organization called Unity in the Community. Tell me about being the Candy Lady.
You did your homework, Miss Bailey. Okay, being the candy lady, that's not something that a lot of people know. It's not something that I've actually bragged or put out there. But currently in the neighborhood that I live in, I live on the south side area of Brunswick, which is very near to all of the projects around here. So I see kids daily, whether they're walking past, playing in the street, whatever. And so I take that opportunity to teach them. Everything is a learning experience. I do not charge these children for anything that I give them is a gift to them, but I do have um, acts of kindness that I like them to do. Whether it's picking up trash in the yard, picking up trash just out in the road, in the projects, in their park. I'm telling them about keeping the earth beautiful. I take time and moments to teach them about Juneteenth and other things that they may not know about history in general, about who they are. So that's where the candy lady came back because every neighborhood has a candy lady who has the pickles and all of the good stuff. And I try to just keep a lot of treats for the kids.
And Mrs. Claus.
Mrs. Claus, that was something that was started about 2 years ago. I know there's a lot of kids that's not fortunate enough to make it to the mall. And, our mall is not much of a mall these days, but it's a lot of children that are not fortunate enough to see Santa Claus, Mrs. Claus, even sit on his lap and tell them what their wish is. And that was something that I thought was very important. And Harrison. He's a very pivotal plays a very pivotal role in my life in helping me do things. But I reached out to him and I said, Rico, you got this nice big old beard. Let me color it, please. And when you be my Santa Claus, and let's take free pictures with these children and let's hand out toys and we'll give them milk and cookies. And it was a success. It was very much a success. And I have a lot of pictures that I can share with you that it was. And we're going to keep on doing it. Everything that we do is not going to just be a one going to try to be consistent and make it annually.
Okay. Halloween.
Halloween. Now that the Glenn County Tigers, Juan Robertson, and he's also have other businesses. They are together in a community support team, a Glenn County community support team, and that is something that they started with the trunk or treats. But of course, I jumped right on in. He said, "Hey, can you come decorate your trunk, dress up if you will?" And we're passing out candies to the kids. So we've done it, plan on doing it again this year, but it was just something fun to do. Again, we try to bring things to the neighborhood that's not happening, and we want the kids to experience as much as they can with our help. So that was exciting.
Well, thank you. Your back to school event.
The back to school, once again, the same people, that community support team. Last year they gave out 600 book bags. We were in there stuffing these book bags with supplies. We allowed vendors to come back out there to Selden Park and set up sell or give information. And it was very much a success. We also gave away laptops and tablets. They raffled them off. And when I say we, it's because everything I do, it's not just one person. It's even if it's an idea that I come up with, I can't do everything alone. There is a group of people in this community who are just as passionate as me, and we come together and we get things done. So that's where all that comes from.
And one organization that I'm familiar with is Unity in the Community.
Yes.
This year you sponsored the second annual Veterans Banquet. I enjoyed it. Thank you. Can you tell us what that is about and how that got started?
Okay, and I'm glad you came. Thank you. Unity in the community. Trina Rankin was running for tax commissioner. I think last year, if I'm not mistaken. And once we, or 2 years ago, I'm sorry, 2 years ago, because after we have gotten the first Juneteenth festival successful, and she said, Jess, I want to do the same thing. I want to do something, have a festival in the community, allow people to come together and we just unite. It was during the pandemic, so things were slowly opening back up. And we just took that opportunity to get everybody outside, as the young people say. And so that's how that came about. Unity in the community, it was, again, just a group of people talking amongst themselves that said, we want to do something. And how can we? A lot of things in the community that you can do is very easy. You just have to do the work. You have to be present, work, and that's what it happens. A lot of people came together, mostly ladies. We do have a few gentlemen who have recently joined, but it started off as a group of ladies, and we all got together. We started going out getting the donations and buying toys, and we met at Mary Ross Park and we had our first successful event. And so from there on, we said, if we can do one event, we're going to keep going. What else can we do? And the Veterans Banquet came about. So
And I want to thank you for recognizing one of my oldest disabled American veterans, Leroy Simpkins, who is 101 years old. It was excellent. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Amazing. That was a blessing in itself to meet him, to honor him, to have his family there. That was just out of this world. And I look forward to us continuing to do more events and honoring more people in the community.
Thank you. And so as we go on, let's start our conversation with Juneteenth. The history, tell us the history of Juneteenth.
Okay, you touched on some of it. Juneteenth celebration began in Galveston, Texas. Um, a lot of historians, they credit Abraham Lincoln to freeing the slaves with the 13th Amendment, abolishing slavery, which that is somewhat true. It is true because that is what he did, but his intentions behind it wasn't to necessarily free us, but to save the Union Army. So, of course, back then we did not know what was going on. So even though the 13th Amendment came out, we still didn't know. And of course, a lot of slave owners, they had their crops coming in, and they need their workers. Who's going to prepare all these crops if everybody's free? So they weren't quick to tell us either that we were free. And not until a man named Gordon Granger, he rode into Galveston, Texas on June 19th, 1865. He read General Order Number 3, and that basically stated that all slaves are now officially free. And Texas was one of the last states to find that out. And so, of course, you had workers who dropped whatever they were doing right there and tried to flee. A lot of them did not make it. A lot of them were killed along the way. And then you have the people who have been here their entire life. And you wonder, why have I been here my entire life? It's because your ancestors chose to make a deal with their plantation owners and stay there and work and get their own piece of the crop. And
Right.
that's
They
where
were ready for that change. Personally, and even though we know the history of Juneteenth, what does Juneteenth mean to you?
pride, dignity, ownership, something that finally belongs to me. As a child, I don't know how to express why or how I had these feelings of not feeling accepted. It wasn't not being accepted from my peers because I consider myself kind of popular, but it was not being accepted. I felt like every assignment in school was based around everybody else but someone. Find out that we have this holiday. And then again, I don't like to just celebrate Black History Month. I'm Black 365, 24/7. And so to just put my culture month is not, we need to embark. I said pride, dignity, ownership. I feel somewhat complete in learning who I am.
And saying that, Why do you think we should celebrate it? Because, like you said, some of the slaves were not in for that change. They did not want to even go when Harriet Tubman was trying to get them out to freedom. So why do you think we should celebrate it?
We should celebrate it just exactly, find out more of who we are. Again, as a child, I'm a talker, and if you haven't noticed that, I talk a lot and it just flows out. And as a child, I talked so much, and my mom would correct me, and she would say, "Jess, slow down," or "You don't have to pronunciate your words." And it's not until adulthood that I found out I talk like that because I'm Gullah Geechee. I say over there, I say them churn, I say come here, and I never understood why could I talk like. And I used to get so frustrated with her about correcting me every time I said something. But if I knew more about my culture of who I am, why is my dialect like this? Why do I pronunciate my words like that? Then it would have come more of an ease to me. It probably would have been easier for me to transition. I would understand that it's okay to talk like this, but when it's time to be professional, pronunciate, for my children growing up, they come home every day telling me something that they learned in. And when I know something different, it's like, I can't tell them what I know without going in depth. So that is a conversation starter for my children. It's very important so they can feel um, a sense of dignity, so they can know who they are. You have to know where you came from in order to know where you're going. And so that's why Juneteenth celebrating is very important. Like I said, these traditions, me being an adult now with two children, I'm starting new traditions that took a long time for me to begin on my, that I felt like my parents should have been on, but they're not. And this is my chance to pick up the baton, break any curses, and begin my own.
So, what does the Juneteenth flag represent?
Okay, so red is for the blood, all the blood shed, all of my ancestors that shed blood for me to be here. Black is for the people, of course, and green is for the land, motherland, where we originally come from. And even though I've never lands of Africa, I still feel a sense of connection of being home, and one day I am gonna go home. But those colors represent more than just those things. Those colors represent who I am. Those colors represent all, again, like the bloodshed that was happening for my ancestors. I do apologize if you hear any background noise.
Go ahead.
Okay. But yes, ma'am, that's what it means. Red is for the blood, black for the people, green is
What is the connection with the strawberry soda and Juneteenth?
strawberry sodas, red soda pop. That's what they said. Go on and get me a red soda pop, girl. Red soda pop, that was our version of champagne. That was our celebration drink. When we had accomplishments amongst ourselves, we had celebration amongst ourselves. They stripped us from a lot of things, but that passion and that pride inside and that knowledge that you hold, you can't break that. And you might can shut me down, but you can't take it away. And so red soda pop was our celebration. Any accomplishments or any good deeds or events happening in our life, we celebrated with red soda pop.
And this year, I attended the Juneteenth in Selden Park. Can you elaborate on how you got that together, and are you going to continue to do it? And what was your purpose for getting it together?
Absolutely. We're going to do it every year, annually. Annually. This is a holiday now. Thank you so much. I'm glad it is a holiday now. So it's up. As the young people say, we are going to celebrate. How we got started with the Juneteenth Festival is what me and you are doing right now. When I found out about Juneteenth, I kind of already knew about it, but thank God for social media, because the more I strolled on my TikTok or my Facebook, all social media platforms, you start learning more information. And the deeper I got about Juneteenth, I said, you know what? The same way we celebrate 4th of July, we're supposed to be celebrating Juneteenth, because we were still slaves in 1776. When the rockets red glare and the bombs bursting in air, we were seeing that from a plantation. So
Yeah.
we were not free ourselves. And now, again, this is a day for me. This is a day for us. This is my dignity and pride. So once again, this passion that I have for the day, I went live. I got on Facebook, I went live, and I was just yelling at my screen like, y'all, Belden Park, we need to have a big old cookout. I need that same energy, blase blase. And so we had a few people that commented and a few people that shared, but there was no response. So then I started to reach out to a lot of the local party promoters here, people who really got crowd control, people who really get things started in the community. And one person in particular indulged and reached back out, and that was Mr. Rico Harrison, also known as Mr. Make It Happen. And yes, he did. We met at Selden Park, and we just looked at that big old field and envisioned what we wanted. And again, from there, he went live, and from there, people started sharing, and word of mouth travels. So if you want something done, social media is good, but talk, meet people, and open your mouth and tell them what you're doing and what you're looking for, and so on and so forth. So Siobhan Robinson, that's another local community member. She introduced me to her brother Juan Robinson, the CEO and founder of the Glenn County Tigers. It is a little league team. And he jumped head in first. He said, Jessica, I'm a 40-something-year-old man, and I never knew anything about this. I'm interested. Teach me more. And he was very open. We sat on the phone for hours, and I'm just telling him all these facts and all my ideas. And he was game. And he went and told some of his friends and told some of his friends. And before you know it, we had the first annual Juneteenth Festival. It was beautiful from
It was.
all over volunteering. You had people who were, I want to be here. Can I be here? Hey, is it too late to sign up? What do I need to do? And it was just magical. Have you ever dreamed of something and it actually came true? It was magical.
Exactly. To see it come into fruition. Exactly.
Yes.
It
Yes.
was excellent. It was nice, good weather and everything. One of your quotes is, I was made to give, not just in the physical aspect, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Where did your passion for service to come from?
I was born with it. I was born with it. Again, all my childhood growing up hearing, slow down. Why do I talk so fast? Why do I talk so fast that I have to slow down? Why, when we speak about my history, I remember a time when I was in about the fifth grade, I think, and we were just learning about Emmett Till. And we were watching a documentary in the classroom, and I broke down crying. I was probably 10, 11 years old, and I was in tears. I could feel the hairs raising on my skin. I could feel the goosebumps of passion from looking at what they did to this 14-year-old boy. And I remember my teacher, she was a Caucasian lady. And you know what? Me and her, we had some difficulties that year. But in that moment, she got in her chair. She came to me. She picked me up and she embraced me. And we hugged each other for a good minute. And she wiped my tears away. And she said, I'm so proud to see this passion with you. She said, I'm happy that you are learning something about yourself and about your history. And she gave me a few minutes to go out and get myself together. But I said all that to say that from a child, things were just different to me. And now that I'm an adult, I'm understanding why. It's passionate to me because it's me. It is me. I am my ancestors. I am a descendant of my ancestors. Um, I don't want to be controversial when I say this, but I remember again as being, I didn't really know what the Pledge of Allegiance meant. What did it stand for? What were we reciting? What were we saying? But I know it was mandatory to say. And I guess I was a rebel since a child because I would stand there and not say nothing. Or and now that I'm an adult, I understand that I did something right. And so it's just, I know I'm finding myself every time I learn something new about our history and our culture. It feels like I'm finding me. I'm finding myself. Why does my hair? I started locking my hair on the, I think it's already passed. The 17th marked my 1 year lock anniversary. And if you know me, you know I love my hair. I love doing it, but I want to be natural. I want to be who I am. Um, I want to be me. And that's really what it came. I love it. I see yours. It's beautiful. And again, my mother, um, she always wanted the best for me and she always wanted me to have. And she always wanted me, like I said, the best for me. It's no other way mother wants the best for you. But I would wear my hair freely. Just I would blow dry it out and just wear a big old afro. And I thought that was so cool. And she would say, girl, if you don't put that in a ponytail or do this and that. And now I'm understanding, no, mama, let me be free. Let my hair go to the sun, grow to the sun as it does. Why does my hair look like a tree outside? You know, I'm just
Yes.
finding myself.
Miss Jenkins, who inspires you?
Everyone. You know, I've been asked that question before, and I can't just pick one specific individual because everybody inspires me. Bailey, you're inspiring me right now doing just what you're doing. Um, it lets me know that my journey is not over. It lets me know that just because I haven't gotten it done today or tomorrow doesn't mean I don't have a chance to get it done. My
Mm,
children inspire me. I can watch a video on Facebook and get teary eyed because
mm,
it was so inspired me. And I feel like if everybody had that same attitude and that same energy, we would get so much further because your book is not mine and your timing is not mine. And what you have mastered and achieved at this level and time and place in your life has nothing to do with mine. And so you're inspiring me because I too can do the same, you know?
mm.
And so no specific person, no celebrity, no artist, no one in Pacific. I think everybody because everything is a learning experience, and that's how I live.
And seeing your T-shirt, seeing that we in Glenn County is just celebrating the third annual Juneteenth, and
Yes,
to know that it's been celebrated since 1865 in Texas, and it's just now trickling down to us in the United States and across the states. And I'm thankful and blessed that it is here now because we have a rich history. What is your favorite scripture, phrase, or testimony that keeps you grounded?
Psalm 16 and 9, and that was my first tattoo. Sorry, Mom, I was 16, but it was my first tattoo, and it stuck out to me, and it means something to me till this day. It says, "A man's heart deviseth his plan, but God directs his steps." And
Mm,
I take that into so many different meanings, mainly that this life is not mine. This God put me here for a reason. Like I told you in my earlier quote, that I'm not just here for a physical aspect, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. People feed off the energy that I have, and I'm very grateful for it because I've noticed that I've walked into a room and certain people smile or they look at me, and I'm like, why are these people looking at me? But I'm noticing that I have an anointing or aura about me that's very welcoming and that is pleasing and easy to talk to. But again, a man's heart devises his plan step, and you can't do nothing without Jesus Christ. You can't do nothing without God first. Um, God first in everything that you do. So again, this is not my journey. You ask me, where does this passion come from? The good Lord above. When he created me and he put that in that mixing pot, he threw a lot of passion, a lot of energy, a lot of talking. And
mhm.
that's what it comes from. That's everything. Everything I do is not for me. Even like I said, the candy lady. That's not me doing that. That's God. Somebody needs kid's life. It doesn't have to be when it says a village it takes a village to raise a child. It doesn't have to be the parent. It doesn't have to be a family member. It doesn't have to be specifically a neighbor. I see something wrong. I think that I should be able to respectfully correct it, and that's where that comes from.
Mm. What wisdom or advice would you leave today for people who are serving or are thinking about serving in the community?
Like Nike, just do it. You don't have to talk about it too much, and study long, study wrong. Someone told me that a long time ago. So if it's something that you want to do, if it's something that you want to venture off into or embark on, don't think too hard and don't think too long. Just do it and be present. Also, if you say you're going to do something, do it. And that is the biggest thing when it comes to community. When you have 20 people that are working together, it makes a big difference if two people are not there. It really does. All 20 need to be on board to understand their role, and all 20 need to be active, and that is the biggest thing. So if you want to do anything, and that's another thing, just because you haven't done it before doesn't mean that you can't do it now. I have never considered myself an activist before, and look at me,
Yes.
um it's a lot of things that I've never imagined me having a festival, and like you said, we're on our third year. So if it's anything that you want to do, just do it, just go out there. But like I said, be present, be active, play your and even if somebody else that is helping you falls short, keep doing you. You have your own journey, you have your own task, you have your own role. Do you just do it?
Mm. And there you have it, Miss Jessica Jenkins, community activist and advocate. And I would like to say, to end this conversation, for all of you out there, whether you celebrate Juneteenth, July 4th, or both together, have a safe one and be kind to each other. There's too much violence going around in our city and across the states. And I have one community announcement. Glen Visual Arts would like to invite the community celebration to come and join them on Saturday, July the 9th from 6 to 9 at the Glen Visual Art at 106 Island Drive on St. Simon's Island. The celebration is called The Common Roots, Many Branches, a legacy collections of fine art from HBCU schools. So until the next time, y'all take care and you have a blessed summer. Peace.